You describe how the technology works here. I've heard it described as if Amazon's Alexa keeps you connected to the outside world when you're at home, your company keeps you connected to your home while you're in the outside world.
Right. So fundamentally, what's going on here is it's the combination of 3D sensing and deep learning. This makes it possible for us to understand what is what in the environment, to understand that's a dog, and that's a child, and that's a person, and maybe even that's your mother, that sort of thing. This lets us behave intelligently. This lets you ask Lighthouse, to tell you about the things you care most about. You can literally say, hey, Lighthouse, let me know when you see someone at the front door with the dog while I'm out. And it will actually just do that.
How much of a market is there for this? Because even though the connected home sounds great, it sounds like very few people have actually gone to the trouble to actually connect their home because it is very difficult. At what point does this become mainstream behavior and not niche behavior?
So there's millions of home cameras out there right now, and they provide a great service in terms of recording data and giving you access to that data. But really what we're doing is making that data useful, making that, giving you actionable insight, giving you information. And that's what people really care about when they get a home camera. And we call this an interactive assistant because it's so much more than that. That you can, you tell it what you care about, and it tells you when those things happen.
Apple, Amazon, Google, you've got the biggest tech giants also, trying to stake out their territory in the world of AI. Max, I'm curious, who's doing it best, or is it anyone's game?
I mean, right now, I think Amazon is probably the most interesting one. Combined with the sort of uptick of people buying these Echo devices, which kind of looked ridiculous when they were released. I think a lot of us were like, who wants this thing? And now they're really taking off. The products that they've announced over the last couple of weeks that involve video are really interesting. And then when you add calling on top of it, as Amazon just did, it starts to make you think, like maybe this is kind of the next smartphone. Maybe Amazon owns the operating system of the home. What's interesting, though, is that you also have other players who are also making plays at the home. So there's like Lighthouse. So there's a lot of sort of interesting activity here, but I don't think it's clear, how it shakes out at all.
What do you think, Alex? What's the answer to that question?
Well, we see the different offerings in this space as being kind of complementary, right? Like it really is that, Alexa is a fantastic way to connect to the outside world when you're at home, and Lighthouse is a fantastic way to connect to the home when you're out in the world.
But how many devices am I going to need?
Well, it depends what you specifically are looking for, right? If what you're most excited about is understanding what's happening at home while you're out, then Lighthouse is a fantastic choice.
Are privacy and security issues of concern here? I mean, just the fact that you've got a camera inside your home monitoring you, it sounds a little Big Brother.
So privacy and security are, of course, fundamental to what we're doing, right? This is data from your home, and trust is of the utmost important here. So we've built in bank-level security measures all across the products, and only you see your data.
Max, what's your take on that? I mean, what are you hearing from potential customers?
I mean, I think people are getting comfortable with the privacy issues. I mean, I have a Nest camera in my kids' room, and Nest is owned by a big company, Google, that makes a lot of money selling data, and yet here I am, using it and not thinking too much about it. I mean, in a lot of ways, we've given up more to these companies in terms of privacy than anything they could learn from looking at our homes. I mean, in terms of sort of what's in our email. So I think there's demand for this. People are comfortable with it, and I think what's really interesting here is we're seeing sort of some of these AI things that people have been talking about for a long time. Machine learning and 3D sensors. Those are things that people have been talking about with self-driving cars for many years, and suddenly we're seeing that technology being sold to consumers, in this device and in devices like it. We're starting to see this maybe an inflection point where AI is becoming kind of mainstream.